But I talk about James Comey saying, I don't know, I don't recall, or I don't remember 245 times during his closed door testimony with the House Judiciary and Oversight Committee. This happened a few days ago, and the next day, a transcript was released. And if you want to see that full thing, read it for yourself. I will place that in the box below. But obviously, this is fishy because you were the head of the FBI. You were the top dog. You were overseeing all of what was going on as far as it relates to the two main topics of his testimony, which were the Trump-Russia collusion kerfuffle and also the Hillary Clinton email scandal. Remember, he came on television talking about, well, the email scandal is troubling, but I can't recommend any kind of, further action, which took the power away from the DOJ, because the DOJ, Department of Justice, it's up to them whether they're going to try to put somebody out there for prosecution or recommendation or whatnot. He took that power away from them, but I digress. The whole point is that they were talking to him mostly about those two things. And he basically was like, well, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense because when you're talking about the Trump-Russia situation, he was directly involved because the FISA warrant is the catalyst for all of what you're seeing right now as far as it relates to the Trump-Russia investigation. Without the FISA warrant that got the wiretap on somebody, not necessarily Trump himself, but somebody in the Trump Tower, we're not here because you don't have enough to really be able to bring it to this point. He had to sign off on the FISA warrants. And by the way, Christopher Steele was an FBI operative, a snitch, whatever you want to call it, that had to report directly to them. But he was being paid by the Clintons to come up with this fake dossier. You remember the whole thing about the Russian hookers peeing on the bed and Trump wanted to get back at Barack and Michelle by peeing on their bed that they were sleeping in Russia. Really stupid, crazy, fan fiction, weirdo stuff. Okay, this is the dossier that was created by Christopher Steele and Fusion GPS, who the Clintons were paying. The FBI, like I said, were working with him, and they were also paying him for information. So for Comey, who was the FBI director at the time all this was going on, to not know about it does not make any sense. It's hard to prosecute somebody for perjury when they say they don't know and they don't remember, because how do you really prove what somebody knows, what they don't know? James Comey obviously was a prosecutor and a lawyer, so he knows these things, all right? I'm sure he knows more than what he said during the testimony. He wrote an entire book about it. He went to the New York Times and snitched about it. He had a conversation with Donald Trump, went to his car, wrote down all of what he said, and then give it to his friend to leak to the media. He knows much more than what he's letting on. This is not an ignorant person. You don't get to the levels of FBI director with a background as a prosecutor lawyer and you just, are going to be so mindless and forgetful about very important information. Okay. He's doing all this to protect himself. Now, this is not the last meeting that he'll have with the same committee. He's going to meet with them again next week, I think on the 17th. So in 1 week from today, which is the 10th, he will meet again. And next week, they're going to bring in Loretta Lynch, because I spoke about the DOJ earlier. He took the power away from them as far as the decision-making process as it relates to Hillary Clinton, bringing her up on charges. They're going to speak to Loretta Lynch. Remember, while she was in the DOJ, Comey was the FBI director, and they had some communication, obviously. The whole tarmac meeting with Loretta Lynch and Slate Willie, remember that? I did a video about that back when it happened. Right in the midst of Hillary Clinton, maybe she's going to be brought up on charges, maybe not because of the whole email kerfuffle. Right when that was going on, Bill Clinton finds her just randomly at an airport in Phoenix, and then he goes on the tarmac where her plane is. Okay, so she had just landed. He goes outside the airport, walks onto the plane on the tarmac, into the plane, and has a closed door meeting with her right on the plane for like half hour or more. And then she had the audacity to get on TV talking about, we were speaking about golf and kids, and like, come on. Bill Clinton was not playing no golf in Phoenix. Phoenix is very hot. I've been there. It's extremely hot in the summertime. They weren't playing golf. He wasn't doing anything like that. This is an old man. He specifically went there to convince her to not press charges, to not pursue any legal action against his wife. Okay, this is bigger than a political situation. Okay, most people are going to be in Hillary Clinton's corner that agree with her politically. But if you've been married to this person for 50 years or something like that, and you have a lot of power politically, and you feel like you're untouchable, you're going to go out there to the tarmac and then try to interrupt what was going on. So they're going to bring her to this committee and talk about that, maybe some other things. She'll probably get coached by Comey to basically say nothing. Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. I don't recall. That's going to be interesting. I'm not sure if her testimony will be public or, behind closed doors. Is it going to be a transcript? I'm not really sure. Comey spoke about Loretta Lynch during the testimony. And like I said, if you want to see the full thing, I'll place the transcript in the box below. I'll also place kind of a truncated, highlighted version in the box. But he spoke about Loretta Lynch, and he said that the tarmac meeting troubled him, but he decided that it wasn't enough there to really pursue anything. I'm like, okay, man, look, you're a smart guy. Again, lawyer, former prosecutor. That obviously is not right. The swamp, the deep state is 1,000% real. We can see what's going on right in front of our eyes. The DOJ was deeply corrupt. I mean, look at what happened with Eric Holder. He had to get sacked or he resigned or whatever during Obama's term. Loretta Lynch, another corrupt person right after him, had to get sacked, resigned or whatever. James Comey is an interesting character. A lot of Democrats were mad at him when he came out and said that Hillary Clinton was corrupt and whatnot, but didn't want to take any action against her, which could be seen a couple different ways. It could be seen as he was trying to sabotage her right before the election, but it could also be seen as him trying to save her from any kind of prosecution. It's weird. Democrats didn't like that because they said that he pretty much slunged her and prevented her from being able to win the election, because he said that right before the election happened, like a month before. On the other side, he was against people like Trump and a lot of conservatives in general, because he signed off on the FISA warrant that got Trump spied on. So it's just a weird situation. This guy honestly should get locked up because something ain't right. Either he needs to get locked up for corruption or he needs to be evaluated for some kind of mental illness, maybe even both. I don't really know, but that's just my opinion. What say you? Do you think that James Comey is being honest by saying, I don't know, I don't recall, and I don't remember 245 times within one meeting? Now, granted, the meeting was long. He was asked about 200 questions or more, obviously, because he said, I don't know, 245 times. But do you think he's being honest? Is he obscuring a lot of the knowledge that he has? Why would he do that? Is he trying to protect himself? That'd be the most obvious answer. But is he trying to protect others? Is he trying to protect Hillary Clinton, Loretta Lynch, Christopher Steele, other people, his deputy director, I forget his name, McCabe? Is he trying to protect them, himself, both? Whatever your comments are, please let me know in the comments.